Hey, honeys, me here. I'm trying really hard not to bonk the mic, but welcome to Life and Spirituality with Rebel. A lot of you guys may know me from TikTok. I've started my spirituality journey about 2018, and then, life happens. I was diagnosed with MS, and I was 37 years old at the time. I'm just now last month turned 41. Um, and, life just kind of got in the way. I had had some oracle cards that I used to dabble in and stuff like that. But a lot of you guys are probably familiar with the 4 a.m. club. And so when November 2024 happened, a lot of us woke up at a specific time with a certain feeling because we all know what happened during that time. And with the sense of knowing something was wrong, but that it was going to be okay, that it was going to work out. Majority of people were like that. I personally was not. It took me a week or two. Like I knew in my gut something was off. I knew something was off, but I didn't have that sense of this is happening for a reason and it's going to be okay, right? Um, so, this whole pod that I'm doing is basically to kind of like try to make sense of, life, right? And spirituality and how they connect, right? Um, so where real everyday life basically meets the sacred unseen, essentially. Okay. That's kind of a more pod like way to put it, right? So like with spirituality, like I told you guys, I'm riding the spirituality bike with training wheels. I am by no means an expert. I just like to, it helps me personally. It's like somebody who goes to church, right? They will go to their pastor or something for advice, right? Or they turn to their faith. They have a favorite Bible verse or something like that that really just brings them comfort. For me personally, it's me kind of leaning into my spirituality and saying in any circumstance, whether good or bad, like if something amazing is happening, just like taking time to stop, really appreciate what's going on, and then thank the universe for it, right? Um, and even if it's something that you just accomplished, the universe had your back, right? Even though, it gave you the strength to persevere and achieve, it gave you, it's always there. The universe is always going to support you if you listen, right? That's how I'm kind of looking at it, right? And things that are not meant for you just will not be for you. And that can be for anything as simple as like when I was a teenager, I had boys that I had the biggest crush on, right? And they didn't have any interest in me, which broke my heart at the time. But look at me now. I'm very happily married. I have three beautiful children, right? Um, and so I guess you guys know me. I tend to kind of go off on tangents. So that's like one of my tangents. So basically, this podcast is to talk about like real life situations and, how we can connect like spiritually in that because I believe everything that happens, good or bad, there are lessons in it, right? And so I feel like, as much as I last November was like, why? Like, I don't fucking get it. Like, how can something this horrible be allowed to happen? Like, I just really struggled, especially for the first week or two, But the more and more as the year has progressed, because a lot of us too were getting messages that, this wasn't going to last very long, right? Which, when you really think about it, now that it's right now, today, it is December 4th, 2025. The time right now is 12:44 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm in the greater Seattle area. And, considering the fact that the inauguration didn't happen until January, the wheels are already coming off this thing. They've been continuing to shake. The tracks have been buckling, right? But the wheels are really starting to come off, and we can see it in real time. Um, and so that's why here of late, when I do my videos on TikTok, which is where I'm sure majority of you guys listening, my beginning listeners anyway, that's where you will have found me from. That's why I feel like they were telling us, time is not the same in the spiritual realm as it is on planet Earth, right? And so that's why I've kind of veered away from asking timing questions, right? Um, because I feel like if we get so attached to one specific outcome in a certain frame of time, that's going to shift the collective energy. And I feel like the lesson for me in all of this is being able to know what's going to happen in the long run, right? I don't need to know when exactly that it's going to happen, but that it will happen. And to just keep that faith and keep, as we've been saying in the 4 a.m. club community, holding the light, right? And like I've been also stressing, it's okay to be pissed off and enraged, right? Because there's this talk about the 3D to the 5D shift, right? And a lot of people make it sound like it's this scary thing. And like I told you guys, I'm not an expert. This is what my gut, though, tells me, okay? It's not going to be this like all of a sudden all these people are going to pass away and then it's only going to be these high vibration people and, you know, sunshine and lollipops, right? There's always going to be, there would be no reason to come down to planet Earth if there was not some lower vibration stuff that still happens. That's the whole point of our souls reincarnating to come down here, is to have certain experiences, right? That has been my understanding the more and more that I'm learning, right? And of my understanding, I listen to Vienna Hill. She has a YouTube channel and a TikTok, I believe. It's My Near Death Experience, My NDE from A to Z. She also has 2 books out. I haven't read her second one, but I have read her first one. And from what I understand, this is like the hardest place to reincarnate. And our badass souls chose to come down here, right? Because we are the souls that chose to be the bridge, right? And I just believe that the 5D is more people actually speaking up and speaking out and protecting their community, right? So, like, I've been trying to tell people, I don't view, like, if you are out there and you are protecting your neighbors, whether that be from cold water, if you catch my drift, or you know what I mean? Like, standing up for your neighbors, going to protest or AKA marching bands, like I like to call them, that is the most 5D thing that you can be doing. That's righteous rage, right? It's coming from a place of love, not from hate, right? Anyway, that's how I view that. So, yeah, it's just, and we are seeing more and more people make that shift to 5D like vibration, right? Even though it looks messy, it looks chaotic, it's a good thing. And that's what this would not have happened if Lotus Queen, AKA KH, if Kamala would have gotten in there right away. It just wouldn't have. It would have been the same bigoted people that refuse to see the light, right? Or just the people, not even bigoted people. It's people who just chose not to pay attention, would rather just live their life. They didn't pay attention to politics because they figure it doesn't impact me, which it really does. And I'm guilty for not paying attention to more local contests like councils, city councils, school board, and stuff like that. I neglected to do that. And guess what? Now I'm going to do better. So that was where I had to learn, right? So, yeah, this is just kind of like my introduction video, my introduction pod. I didn't want to make it too long. Um, a lot of you guys know my son has been going through struggles, so my attention has been very much put on him and making sure he has the resources for his mental health that he really needs right now. So I don't want to commit to like doing even a weekly podcast, but I would like to put a couple out every month, whether that be like one, like 2 weeks back to back, or one every other week. It's going to kind of be when I have the availability to be able to do it, both time wise and also energetically. Because also, too, with me having MS, that can also make me feel really tired sometimes, which I've been going 3 nights in a row now with minimal sleep. Yesterday, I felt super tired. I was watching Erin Brown's Schumann resonance report that she did, and it kind of makes sense why I was so tired yesterday. I mean, I've been getting crappy sleep anyway, but all of a sudden today, even though I only got 3.5 hours of sleep last night, I'm feeling like I have way more energy than normal with it, which especially MS tongue, especially with my MS is very odd. So I'm like, I'm going to take this opportunity where I feel like I have this energy and figure this damn podcast out. Because I've been having this, I've had to, prioritize what's going on with my son, obviously. But I now that I've had the opportunity, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to put it off. I'm going to come on and I'm going to do it. So, and I'm not using a fancy webcam or anything like that. I'm just using my MacBook. And I mean, I feel like it seems pretty good, the resolution and stuff like that. So I invested in the microphone and the headphones just so that my sound isn't ass. um, so I'm going to try to get this loaded up to, I believe it is Podbean is the, application that I'm going to be using to be able to upload my podcast to different platforms. So I don't know if it's going to be available on Apple right away. I believe like Spotify and stuff like that is easier to get it uploaded to. But I also think that you can actually download the Podbean app and you can actually view and listen to podcasts directly from that. So I don't know. I'm still learning, you guys, but I love you guys so much. And I appreciate you guys being here, being interested in what the hell I have to say about anything, because, you know, I'm really grateful for this community. I feel like we have all kind of buoyed each other, right? Because I haven't always been able to have the energy to be present and stuff like that. But on days where I'm feeling lower, other people are, you know, we've been each other's life source, right? Are each other's lifesavers through all this. So I am so grateful to you guys. We are spiritual badasses, and I'm excited to dive into some more, let me see, topics to talk about. And also, I don't know, I had done a recording and my microphone wasn't working before that. So if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. My plan is to try to get a email address set up so that I can take questions from you guys. And then somebody had mentioned maybe trying to set up like a voicemail system, but you guys, I am not tech savvy at all. And I think I would have to get some like more gadgets and stuff like that to be able to, plug in and make the sound actually come through. And I'm not confident to do that, at least not yet anyway. Maybe eventually, but I feel like an email is a good way to start out. Also, too, that way, if I have any follow up questions to be able to clarify, so when I go to answer, you know, I can be more thorough. That would be helpful to be able to do. So, okay. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys on my next podcast. All right. Love ya.